About the gyro here. Just a quick video on the new 2020 season 4 schedule. And I have in front of me a sorted PDF of the GT based cars subset of the entire C license and wanted to show it to you and provide a little bit of insight, what I feel about it and things thereof. So right now I am at 3.0 exactly for C license. And so I'll be participating mostly in C for this coming season. So basically, the number one goal is to keep the C license. Um, that is for sure. Secondly, obviously, I know I'm going to improve with more experience. And but third, actually have some fun with that. So let me close that out and away we go. So this is the IMSA Michelin Pilot Challenge. So this is all of your GT4s that are in here. Note the RS3. So the Touring Car Challenge is a new 15-minute series involving that car. You need I believe it is D license or higher to race in that. So but anyway, here's the schedule and my thoughts. So first race, Orm Park, one of the new circuits. Um, Originally they had proposed Imola in this, so they moved it around. Uh, Very excited. It's a new place. From looking at the footage, it looks like definitely a fun place to throw the car around. So excited about that. Then we got Mid Ohio, and then we got the first kind of longer event, and that is Daytona using the NASCAR road. So, NASCAR road, yeah, I can see why they've done it. It'll keep the speeds down a little bit, but 45 minutes, that is a long session to drive. And I think that's where alertness and things are is going to be pivotal. Following week, Road Atlanta. Um, Key reason for this is Petite Le Mans is in early October. That is an event I'm looking to drive on a team with. So Petite Le Mans. So it makes sense that Road Atlanta's there. And then we have Coda. Then Donington Park, the National. That is the part that doesn't have the. It used to be called what, the Melbourne Hairpin. I don't know if it still is. So it cuts that out. So that'll be interesting. And then Laguna, Monza slots in at the week 8. Originally, I believe Motegi was in here, but Motegi got dropped. Very happy they kept Imola. In a GT4, Imola, you have got to drive well. That circuit takes no prisoners in a GT4. And then we got Sebring, Uten Park, which is the other new circuit, and then closing with Suzuka, and the tail end, Monza, the Grand Prix. So my thoughts on the schedule, kind of looking at it, you have a circuit that's got a long straight, but a very technical everywhere else. Mid Ohio, very technical. Daytona with the road section, yeah, it's okay. It's not my favorite, and the fact that it's 45 minutes, I'm curious why they chose to do that. Fort Atlanta, obviously a great circuit, definitely very technical. Coda, the Grand Prix, it's going to be who's the bravest on the brakes. I'm not a fan of Coda in general, so eh. Donington, great circuit, obviously, because of my sporting hero, Ayrton Senna. hence the thumbnail. Laguna, great place to drive these cars. Imola, see above. Sebring is a great place to drive in the GT4. Gotta have your wits about you. Alton Park, I think it's going to be a great racing track. Not an easy one though. In real life, definitely tricky to drive, especially if it was raining. Then lastly, kind of two of the standbys, Suzuka. What else needs to be said? Suzuka is still one of the absolute best circuits in the world. Great race recently in Super GT over in Japan. And then we kind of got the fun one at Monza. And it's only 12 weeks in this. So pretty good mix. I'm relatively happy with that. And I'll probably race most, if not all, the races for that. Now we got advanced Mazda. So you have the Nordschleife, the Industrieflatten. That will be fun. Summit, definitely going to be fun. Um, Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, I remember it as Mosport, so that's what I'm going to go with. Mosport. Um, the Mazda really comes alive at this. Nice rolling undulation. I'm very happy to see that. We get the NASCAR road course, which 45 minutes of the Mazda, dear God. I mean, it's 40% fuel. I don't know if that's going to need a fuel stop or not. I'm going to have to check on that. But thankfully, they come with a really nice quartet after Phillip Island. Great place to race. The Mazda. The Nürburgring Grand Prix, pretty good circuit as well. Suzuka and Monza, obviously great places. Suzuka, for sure, it's over 3.5 miles around. So that is going to be interesting to drive in the Mazda. And you got Imola. And then at the end, I found the end of this calendar with a lot of bite. The last 4 weeks in Advanced Mazda, I think, is going to be very exciting. The Grand Prix layout at Donington, that's my preferred layout. That's going to be good racing. Belle Isle, you never know what you're going to get in Detroit. I've seen plenty of races online where people that start near the back race their way to the front because of the carnage. Then you got Zolder. Zolder is tricky place to get right. And then they end with Le Mans, and I look at this Le Mans and I scratch my head going, why? Why would we want to end at Le Mans 45 minutes driving around where it might as well be Draft Central or Draft Central. We are in France after all. I don't understand it. So looking at the MX5 calendar, I really like, with the exception of NASCAR Road, which we know is not my favorite, and Le Mans, I just scratch my head out. Supercar. And I'm going to talk about this just briefly because of the first thing you see, and that is Mount Panorama. So we are in the preliminary stages. I have joined up with a team for the purpose of driving Bathurst. And right now, it looks like it's going to be a 3-person team for the Bathurst 1000. So that is 180 odd laps around there. So this is leading up to that. Plenty of practice will ensue. I believe we're driving the Mustang in this. So that will be very good practice for it. I'm not intending to race this series, but from what I've heard, it drives kind of similar to a GT4, and I do like the GT4. So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, anytime you get to race around Spa, that's a good day. Barber is a great circuit to race around as well. So just want to mention that in passing. So here is the second major series I'm going to be racing. So I'm intending to race Michelin Pilot Challenge, I should say, in this one. GT3 is allowed. You start at Monza. 60 minutes, it makes sense in a GT3. I mean, I'm stoked to start at Monza. And then you go from one great circuit to another two great circuits. You have Suzuka, and then leading up into Petit Le Mans, you have Road Atlanta, 45 minutes. So starting this season, fantastic. And you're going to have um, a wide range of cars. The GTEs are going to be. Now, it says in this the C7 prototype. I don't know if it's going to be the C8 prototype. It is being released. So we'll see. I don't know about that. But then the next three races I find very interesting. Coda, which in the Mercedes GT3 I think will be interesting. It's long enough where the prototype should get away. I think it will make for an okay race, but I don't know. Like Coda normally doesn't race all that well in sports cars, but from when you get off the backstretch to the finish line, definitely you can make us some places there by hook or by crook. The Roval in week 5, I believe that's what's going on this week. I got to check the calendar. 45 minutes again. I like the Roval for GT3. I have a good feel. The Roval really brings out the characteristics of the GT3 and the GT4, and it really shows you the differences. So Coda, okay. Roval, you never quite know what you're going to get at the Roval in these cars. But then week 6, the Autodromo Jose Carlos Paz, we know it as Interlagos. I'm really looking forward to driving Interlagos. Once again, because my sporting hero, he won there twice, and it just produces good racing. So really happy about that. Then we have Laguna, which is a great place to race for these cars. But then the next 3 weeks, I really found intriguing. Gilles Villeneuve, so lots of straights with heavy brakes. Then you have Le Mans, which makes sense. Cars are powerful enough to where it makes sense here. But then I found week 10. So if you look at the schedule, you have a 60-minute at Monza to this point, and now you get to the Indianapolis road course, and it's the other 60-minute. And I'll be very curious to see how this drives. I don't own this yet, but I'm going to be very curious to see how a GT3 car drives. I don't know if it is the old road course or the new one. I'm going to assume it's the new one where you're not racing around, in essence, turn 1 the wrong way. You have the chicane leading up. Silverstone classic circuit and then Imola the finish. I've been driving Imola a lot in GT3 and really and it's been teaching me a lot about car dynamics for GT3. So overall, this is a superb schedule. There's not a lot of weaknesses in it. Coda, I'm curious to see how it happens. But outside of Coda, I think in IMS, we'll see, right? But then the last one, kind of the one that's I'm really excited, and that is the VRS Endurance Series. So 180 minutes. I'm definitely looking forward to driving this as often as I can. Um, it's a weekend series. If you note, qualifying races are on Saturdays. So here in Nashville, when I see GMT, I have to subtract a minimum of 5 hours. And of course, you have the time change in the season. So you have to factor that as well. So that 19 GMT time is 2 p.m. here, and 17 is noon. So it is fantastic timing. I can take care of my commitments, do the church thing, lock and load, and it's going to be awesome. So, checking out the circuits here, we start at Catalunya. So, Catalunya, I think for the F1 cars, it's definitely processional. I don't know how it's going to race for GT3. I need to look at more video to make that determination. But it's not a hard circuit per se compared to some of the others in this list. So I thought it was a friendly start to this season. Then the full Brands Hatch, great place to race GT cars. I like the rolling terrain. I like technical courses, and to see that second, pretty nice. But then a kind of a nice surprise, and that is going to Okayama. I remember it as Aida, so forgive me if I interchange. And so, in a GT car, this circuit it's not quite the bullring field per se, but it definitely rewards a little bit of bravery. Um, Braking zone into the tight right hander off the backstretch. Can you get the car through the slow part of the circuit on the backside? And how much are you going to let the rear end hang out coming onto the front stretch? So I have a feeling it may be more fun than I realize. Week 4, Interlagos. What else needs to be said? Zandvoort, week 5. Now, I'm hoping this is the one that's got the bank corner. I think it is. It races really well. Very excited. Then you have Open Park International. That's the long version. Then you got Monza, the full Grand Prix at Donington. And then the first circuit where I kind of scratch my head a little bit, not much, but a little bit, because notice it's the cup layout and not the full layout, and that is Sonoma. When you look at everything else in the schedule, it's fantastic. You look at Grand Prix Nürburgring, Zolder, Silverstone to finish. This is the one circuit of this particular season where yeah, I don't know. I'll have to see how it drives. I was hoping to see the full layout, but I definitely understand why they're doing the cup layout just because lap times are shorter. Yeah. But anyway, that is the GT schedule for C license. Overall, if I had to give a grade, I would say for Pilot Series, I would give it the start out. I would say a B minus. I think it can be improved to have. There's a couple where I go why. The MX5, I would give this a C. There's 2 circuits where I go, why are they on there? This doesn't make a lot of sense. And then when you tack on the Nürburgring, I think it's whether you like the Nürburgring or not. I mean, they do race the Mazda in the Nürburgring Endurance Championship in iRacing. Can't be that bad. But yeah, I would give it a C. And realize these are my personal preference. If I really get hooked into supercars, looking at these circuits here, very rich. So this has the potential of being really, really nice. We'll see. We'll see how I like it. For IMSA, I would say probably an A minus. IMS is a question mark. The NASCAR road, I'm not a fan of, but the schedule in general is very nice. And then for VRS, looking at this outside of Sonoma, I give this an A minus two. So lots of good racing in GT for C class. But yeah, I have some scheduling I need to do and things thereof. But otherwise, that is really all the news fit the print. I also made B and D PDFs as well, just to see if I was interested. But yeah, pretty comprehensive schedule. Note the repetition of intervals. So for Michelin, it's every 2 hours at a quarter pass. Advanced Mazda is at the same time, so you have to pick one or the other. Same thing with supercars, one or the other. But the sports car series is at quarter till every 2 hours. And then the VRS is fixed time. So, yeah, looking forward to it. Looking forward to improving racing in my first set of endurance races. And yeah, I think overall, outside of, like I said, the couple little minor things in Advanced Mazda, I think it's turned out pretty good. So that's it from now. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you soon. Make sure you follow, subscribe, tell your friends, etc. at all.